to James O'Brien on LBC. I'm tempted to do a whole hour of Woke Watch after 12 o'clock today. I don't know if you've seen the story about Argos. Sometimes I see things trending and I click on them and think that can't be that story from 2 days ago, can it, that you forgot to include on your Woke Watch feature, James? I have quite a fascinating inner dialogue going on, obviously, at all times, and then it is. So Argos have done something utterly innocuous that has apparently prompted utter outrage. And as we occasionally allow ourselves on the programme, we will be taking our scalpel to that outrage after 12, unless things change, and finding out where it comes from and what it all means. Before that, something rather more important. I came across a charity a few years ago called Who is Hussain, the Who is Hussain Foundation. And it's a Muslim charity that works all over the world, helping, well, not to put too fine a point on it, pretty much anybody who needs help. And they have all sorts of initiatives going on in all sorts of countries, working and helping in all sorts of ways. And their latest campaign is potentially a world record breaking campaign. It is an attempt to break the world blood donation record to save lives. I'm delighted to tell you that I'm joined by the director of the foundation, Muntazir Rai, and by the head of relief at the Who is Hussain Foundation, Dr. Sayada Maraji, who's also a GP. And I'll ask you first, Muntazir, what exactly is it that you're trying to achieve and why?
Hi, James. Good morning. Thank you very much for having us on. Great to be on your show. So we're trying to achieve something pretty ambitious. We're trying to get 50,000 people to donate blood on one calendar day. That's going to be this coming Saturday on August the 27th. And that in turn will hopefully save 150,000 lives. Obviously, for one unit of blood that is donated, you get up to 3 adult lives saved. So pretty ambitious target we've got. But if we pull it off, it's going to be an amazing thing.
This is across all 6 continents as well. It's not confined to a small corner of the country or anything like that.
No, it's across 6 continents exactly. It's going to be in about 20 countries, and we've actually got over 350 donation points spanning the globe that we're going to be doing this from. And it's going to start off, actually, because of time difference, it's going to be starting off in New Zealand, sort of 9 p.m. UK time, and spanning all the way till about 11 p.m., even midnight on Saturday when we finish off in the west coast of America.
So it's like the New Year's Eve fireworks, isn't it? It kicks off in New Zealand first and the rest of the world falls like dominoes.
Exactly. Just a little bit more maybe life-saving than the New Year's Eve. But yeah, quite like that, yeah.
Sayada, why is the need for blood donation so acute at the moment? What is it about the current climate that makes this such an urgent mission?
Yeah, hi, James. So what we've seen recently, currently we've seen all over the world, we've seen a huge shortage of blood. So it's not just in the UK. In October last year, the UK needed 100,000 new donors to meet the rising demand. And every single day, the UK needs to recruit 400 new donors just to sort of meet up with the rising needs in hospitals. So there's a huge shortage. COVID has also had an impact on this. And that's why we sort of want to bring the focus to blood donation and getting people to go ahead on Saturday to come into one of the locations and to donate blood.
How do they find their nearest location? How do people find out how to get it?
Yeah, so it's a very, very quick and easy process. You need to go onto the website blood.whoishussain.org to sort of sign up and book your appointment. And then according to sort of your location, it will tell you what's available and where you can go.
What holds people back? Is it ignorance or reluctance, Sayada? Is it? I mean, as a GP, are we talking about people being frightened of needles, or are we talking about people just not knowing A, how desperate the need for blood is, and B, how easy it is to donate?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of all of those things. What we see is, there is sort of a fear around donating blood, but I think a lot of it comes down to people not knowing about the actual blood donation process. It's as simple as that. There is a lot of information out there. There's also a lot of misinformation out there, and with Who is Hussain, we have been working to sort of tackle these misconceptions, to bust myths. So just to sort of go through a couple of these for the listeners. So there's, a lot of people think that the process is very long, it's time consuming, it's onerous, whereas in fact, it's actually very, very quick. So the whole process, once you've signed up, takes just 1 hour. And the actual blood donation part, the giving blood, is literally 5 to 10 minutes. People also think it's painful. Again, apart from sort of a small needle being inserted, the entire process should be painless. And it's also carried out by very experienced healthcare professionals. Something else I hear a lot is, I can't donate because I've got a particular medical condition, I'm on certain medications. Again, what you'll find is that, regardless of whether it's high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, in a lot of these cases, you can actually donate. So I would urge sort of listeners, the public, to go onto the NHS blood donation website, where you can actually find the criteria. You can go through the different medical conditions and sort of see whether, like I said, you'll find that you probably are eligible. So, I think it's a mix of those different reasons.
Mobilise the nation. Do I get a biscuit?
You will get a biscuit.
Fantastic.
So,
no, that's all I needed to know. I'm
I'm
going to ask Muntazir. Thank you, Sada. I'll ask Muntazir the final question, which is a little bit, if you would, about the charity. As I mentioned, I was introduced to your work a few years ago, but most people listening won't know. They won't know who Hussain is, Muntazir. So who is he, and what is this organisation that you've built in his name?
Yeah, thank you. So essentially, Hussain was the grandson of the Prophet Muhammad. So he lived 1400 years ago. He's by far somebody who is incredibly inspirational, someone who people of all faiths can take from, someone who's clearly inspired us to do incredible work for the last 10 years now. He has said previously that the most generous person is the one who offers support without expecting anything in return. And it's exactly that, value and those sort of principles that he had to stand up for, especially in light of tyrannical rulers, justice, and lack of sort of morals at the time that he was living in. And he had to give the ultimate sacrifice, which was his life. And off the back of those values, we, as the Who is Hussain Foundation, have been working for 10 years now, like you said at the beginning, from that inspiration, trying to help the most vulnerable in society, regardless of faith, gender, ethnicity, what have you. And ultimately, he really is somebody that I think anybody and everybody can learn about. And to find out more about him, please do visit whoishussain.org. James himself has actually spoken at our Conference of Social Justice a few years ago. And I think you'll probably agree that he's definitely somebody with a deep sort of history and many lessons that we can all learn from.
It was an education for me in all manner of ways. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming on the show today. If you find out more about this particular record-breaking attempt at blood.whoishussain.org, my thanks to Muntazir Rai, the director of the foundation, and Dr. Sayada Mauji, who head of relief at the Who is Hussain Foundation, and also a GP. That's amazing. I mean, if they pull that off, that would be 50,000 blood donors across 6 continents, which would save the lives potentially of 150,000 different people. So get involved. #GlobalBloodHeroes. It's 1 minute after 12.